Welcome to Kuma English Listening Hub. Today's episode is about something many people use without thinking about it: bike sharing. You may have seen rows of public bikes near a subway station, or you might have unlocked one with an app during a trip. But how do these systems actually work behind the scenes? And what problems do cities and companies need to solve to keep bike sharing reliable? Let's start with the basic idea. A bike sharing system is a service that lets people rent a bike for a short time, often for minutes instead of days. The goal is simple: help people travel the last mile, meaning the short distance between public transport and their final destination. Bike sharing can also replace short car trips, reduce traffic, and make city travel more flexible. There are two main types of bike sharing: docked and dockless. In a docked system, you must pick up and return the bike at official stations, also called docks. The station locks the bike and records the rental. In a dockless system, bikes can be parked in many legal public spaces, and the lock is usually on the bike itself. Some cities also use a hybrid system. Bikes can be locked at stations, but can also be parked in special virtual zones shown on a map in the app. Now let's talk about the user experience, because that is where many people think the story ends. You open an app, you find a bike, you scan a code or tap a card, the bike unlocks, and you ride. When you finish, you lock the bike, and the app ends the trip. It looks easy, but that simple experience depends on many layers of technology and daily operations. First, the bike itself is not a normal bicycle. Most shared bikes are built for heavy use. They have strong frames, thick tires, and parts that are harder to steal. Many have internal gears, which are protected inside the wheel hub. This makes them more resistant to weather and damage. The seat and handlebars are designed to fit many body types quickly. Comfort matters, but durability matters even more. The lock is one of the most important parts. In docked systems, the dock is the lock. In dockless systems, the lock is usually a smart lock attached to the rear wheel. When you end a trip, it closes and blocks the wheel so the bike cannot be ridden. The lock also stores information about the ride and can communicate with the company's servers. How does a smart lock communicate? Often, it uses a mix of GPS and cellular data, similar to how your phone connects. GPS helps the system know where the bike is located. Cellular data helps send and receive information, like whether the bike is available or currently rented. Some locks also use Bluetooth to connect to a user's phone at close range. This can save battery and improve the unlocking experience. Battery life is another hidden issue. A smart lock needs electricity for GPS, communication, and sometimes an alarm. But bikes do not have large batteries like cars. Many shared bikes use small batteries that can last weeks or months depending on usage. Some bikes use dynamo systems that generate power while you ride, like a traditional bike light but stronger. Others require workers to replace or recharge batteries regularly. Next is the software. The app is only the front door. Behind it, the company runs a platform that manages accounts, payments, pricing rules, maps, and real-time bike availability. It also needs strong security. If someone can hack the system, they could unlock bikes for free, steal user data, or create fake rides. So the software includes encryption, identity checks, and fraud detection. Pricing can be more complex than it looks. Many systems charge per minute, but some offer daily passes, monthly memberships, or discounts for students. Cities sometimes require special pricing for low-income residents, because bike sharing can be a public service, not only a business. A company may also charge extra fees if a bike is parked in a no parking area or left outside the service zone. This brings us to one of the biggest challenges: parking and street space. Docked systems solve this by forcing bikes into stations, which keeps sidewalks organized. But stations are expensive to build, and they take up space. Dockless systems are cheaper to expand quickly, but they can create messy streets if users park anywhere. That is why many cities use rules like designated parking zones, photo proof at the end of a trip, or automatic fees for bad parking. Another major challenge is balancing supply and demand. In the morning, many people ride from residential areas to business districts. In the evening, the flow goes the other way. Over time, bikes gather in some places and disappear from others. You may open the app near your home and see no bikes available, even though the city has thousands of bikes. To fix this, companies do rebalancing. Rebalancing means moving bikes from areas with too many to areas with too few. The simplest method is trucks or vans that pick up bikes and drop them off elsewhere. But that costs money, creates traffic, and can reduce the environmental benefits, so companies try to rebalance smarter using data. They analyze patterns, time of day of week, weather, local events, school schedules, and even public transport delays. If rain is expected, fewer people may ride. If there is a football match, bikes may be needed near the stadium before and after the game. Good prediction reduces the number of truck trips. Some systems also use incentives for users. For example, the app might offer a discount if you return a bike to a station that is usually empty, or you might earn credit for moving a bike from a crowded area to a quieter one. This is cheaper than using trucks, and it involves users in the system. Maintenance is another invisible job. Bikes are used by many people every day, so parts wear out quickly. Tires get punctures, chains loosen, brakes need adjustment, and seats can break. In addition, bikes are exposed to rain, heat, and sometimes vandalism. Most companies use a mix of reports and sensors to find problems. Users can report a broken bike in the app. Some bikes have sensors that detect unusual movement, like a crash or theft attempt. Others track how often the bike is used, so the company can schedule regular checkups. Maintenance teams may ride around in small vehicles, fixing bikes on the street, or they may collect bikes and repair them in a workshop. Theft is a serious issue. Even with strong frames and special parts, some people try to steal bikes or sell them. GPS helps, but it is not perfect. A thief might move the bike into a building or underground area where GPS signals are weak. Some companies use geofencing, which means the system creates a digital boundary. If a bike leaves the service area, it triggers an alert. Locks may also include loud alarms if someone tries to break them. Let's look at the city's role. Bike sharing is not only a private business choice, it connects to public policy. Cities decide where stations can be built, how many bikes can operate, and what safety rules must be followed. They may require companies to share data, like trip numbers and popular routes, while protecting user privacy. Why does the city want this data? Because it helps with planning. If many rides start and end near the same intersections, the city might build better bike lanes there. If certain neighborhoods are not being served, the city can push for more stations or lower prices. But this creates a debate. How much data should companies share, and how can we protect personal information? Safety is also central. More bikes on the road can be good, but only if streets are designed for them. In cities with protected bike lanes, bike sharing often grows quickly. In cities where bikes must share narrow roads with cars, many people feel unsafe and avoid riding. Helmet rules vary. In some countries, helmets are strongly recommended but not required. In others, helmets are mandatory, especially for children. Bike-sharing companies face a practical problem. They cannot easily provide clean, well-fitting helmets for every user. That is why many focus instead on safer infrastructure and rider education. Now, let's consider electric bikes, or e-bikes, which are becoming common in bike sharing. E-bikes make riding easier, especially uphill or over long distances. This attracts new riders who might not use a normal bike. But e-bikes add new challenges: bigger batteries, higher costs, and more complex repairs. Charging e-bikes is a daily operation. Some companies swap batteries on the street. Workers carry charged batteries and replace empty ones. Others collect e-bikes at night to charge them in a warehouse. Both systems cost money and require planning. Still, e-bikes can increase revenue because users often pay more per minute for electric assistance. Is bike sharing profitable? It depends. Some systems are supported by city funding because they reduce traffic and pollution, like a public service. Others rely on memberships and per-ride fees. Advertising can also help, such as ads on bikes or in the app. However, costs are high. buying bikes, maintaining them, paying staff, handling theft, building stations, and running software. Many companies have learned that growth is not everything. In the past, some bike sharing businesses expanded too fast, placing too many bikes without good parking rules or maintenance teams. That caused public complaints and financial losses. Today, the trend is towards slower, more organized growth, with closer cooperation between cities and operators. So, what makes a bike sharing system successful? Usually, it needs several things: safe cycling infrastructure, clear parking rules, reliable maintenance, and smart balancing. It also needs pricing that feels fair and simple. And finally, it needs trust. Users must trust that a bike will be available, that the app will work, and that the streets will be safe enough to ride. Before we finish, think about your own city or a city you have visited. If there is bike sharing, where do you see the bikes? Near train stations? Tourist areas? Universities? And if there is no bike sharing, why not? Is it because of weather, street design, cost, or local culture? Today you learned that bike sharing is not just about bikes. It is a system of hardware, software, logistics, city rules, and human behavior. The next time you unlock a bike with an app, you will know that a whole network is working in the background to make that simple ride possible. Thanks for listening to Kuma English Listening Hub. If you want, listen again and focus on the key vocabulary about technology, city planning, and transportation. See you in the next episode.